Like, what's wrong with just being great? Shoot for the moon, and if you never make it to the moon, at least you'll be amongst the stars. You're never gonna be the greatest because the greatest is the greatest forever. Peace. It's your guy Libs, back with another video. I titled this video, You Will Never Be the Greatest. Now, this video was not to discourage anyone to strive for greatness, but we gotta be realistic. And I'm gonna tell you why you will never be the greatest. I don't care who you are.
I do this, I do this, I do this, I do this, I do this.
A lot of people have the title the greatest. You know, Michael Jordan, Muhammad Ali, you know, Malcolm X. A lot of people have that title, the greatest. But none of these people were the greatest, because the greatest is the greatest forever. And nobody will be great forever. You're only the greatest until you're not the greatest anymore. So if that's true, then you were never the greatest, because the greatest is the greatest forever. Now, the only thing that is the greatest forever is God. God is the greatest forever and ever, and nothing will ever change that. Now, God allows people to be great, so great that they are considered as the greatest, but they're not the greatest. We gotta stop trying to be the greatest ever. Like, what's wrong with just being great? There's people out here that don't even know that they're great. Okay? You have a single mom out here struggling, trying to keep a job. She has a daughter or son, a young daughter or son that she's trying her best to take care of, you know, paying for school, running around, doing this and that, coming up short, always late with the rent, always tired when she comes home from work, stressed out and depressed, comes home and drinks, you know, just stressing every day. But to her daughter, she's the greatest. She's the greatest thing or person that her daughter knows, because of the work that she put in. I just want everyone to understand that if you don't wind up being the greatest, it's okay. We all strive to be the greatest. And that's okay. But you gotta do that knowing that it'll never happen. There's a saying that says, shoot for the moon, and if you never make it to the moon, at least you'll be amongst the stars. That's what I mean. You're never gonna be the greatest, because the greatest is the greatest forever. Somebody could have a nice boxing career and they're undefeated for years, 20 years of being undefeated, and all of a sudden they lose. because they lost that one fight, they're not the greatest. They just are considered great. Guess who thinks they're great as well? The kids at the boxing gym that he's teaching how to move their feet, who he's teaching how to do the 1-2, how to work the jab, how to defend themselves. It's not all about punching. It's about protecting yourself at all times. Those people that he are enlightening and giving value to their workout thinks that he's the greatest or great. It's okay to be great. We don't have to be the greatest. The guy that got signed to the NFL and had a great career and got injured and now he can never play football again, he's still great because now he's coaching football at high school and he's shaping lives of students and encouraging them to be great at what they do. Your life didn't turn out the way you wanted it to turn out. It didn't turn out the way you expected it to turn out. You always wanted more than what you have. You always thought that your life would be bigger than what it is. Your finances, the way that you live, you always thought it would be better. But if you sit back and realize, and a lot of y'all do realize this, and analyze what's going on, analyze life, analyze what's going on in the world, then you gotta admit that you're great. You're doing great. You're living your best life now. You didn't wind up being the greatest, but you're doing pretty great. We have to understand this and appreciate what we have. There's value in your level of greatness. You will never be the greatest because the greatest is the greatest forever. That's never going to change. You got to see value in what you got going on. What's wrong with being number 2? Everybody can't be number 1. Number 1 can't be number 1 without everybody. You see how that goes? Everybody can't be number 1, and number 1 can't be number 1 without everybody. There's no I in team. Do you know how many people are behind the person that you see on top? Pushing them, training them, coaching them, giving them guidance. You feel me? There's a lot that goes on in creating yourself to be great. And one of those things that you need in order to be great is you have to strive to be the greatest, even though you know you'll never be the greatest, because the greatest is the greatest forever, and that'll never change. Everybody that you see that's winning has a team surrounding them, doing certain jobs to allow them to be great and look like the greatest. Where would Michael Jordan be if it wasn't for Scottie Pippen? You know what I'm saying? Bill Cartwright, Dennis Rodman. Where would you be Right now, you think that you're the greatest. Would you be so great if you didn't have a wife like you have that's preparing all these meals for you, waking you up on time, getting your clothes ready for work, your laundry? Would you be so great, sir, if you didn't have a wife like that? You're not the greatest, but you are great. And great people are not great all by themselves. Ma'am, do you think you would be the kind of wife that you are? The greatest wife award if it wasn't for your husband? If you didn't have a husband that provides for you and go to work every day working overtime, who's fixing problems before you even know the problem exists, before you even get a chance to stress over an issue, your husband is already working on solving it. Every time something happens with your vehicle, you never went and got your oil change, tires, your husband handles all of that. You're great because you got your husband. We all got each other in this world, and God is using us all. He's using us to do his work, and his work is great. And God is the greatest because the greatest is the greatest forever, and that'll never change. He's the only one, not you or I, and that's okay. A lot of people always strive to be number one, and they wind up number two or number three, and they have a great life. What's wrong with being Remy? Remy from Coming to America. See, Hakeem was the son of a king. He had everything, anything that his heart desires. The snap of a finger, anything that he wanted done, it could be done. Now, I know that's just a movie, but the logic is real. Because anything that Hakeem could do, his homeboy Remy could also do. Remy had a great life. You know? He had an awesome life. I wouldn't mind being Remy. I don't have to be Hakeem. See, the thing with being all the way up, the greatest, is you get a lot of attention and there's a lot of pressure on you when you're striving to be the greatest. There's so much pressure. There's so many people that's dependent on you to show up every single time in your life. Your family don't want to hear that you're tired and you just don't feel like going to work anymore. You got to get up and you got to keep pushing because there's people depending on you. You call yourself the king, right? Well, you got to do king-like things. But I'm going to tell you something. The king is not the greatest. Because if he was, he wouldn't need his knights. What's a king without those knights, without those soldiers that's fighting, helping protect his kingdom so that it can't be infiltrated by other kings? If the king was the greatest ever, then there would be no other kings. There's only one King of Kings, and that's God. And God is the greatest, and that'll never change. He's the greatest forever. So pat yourself on the back. Understand that where you are in life is a good place. If you want to continue to strive to be better, then go ahead and strive to be better. That's what everybody should be doing, no matter what. But you're never, ever going to be the greatest. But you're going to be great to somebody. You're going to be great to your kids, your family, your students, your coworkers, your neighbors. You might be doing great things for people in the world, and they're going to think that you're great. So you should hold your chin up high, even though you're not what you think the greatest is in your mind. A lot of people have a vision of what they think the greatest is, and if they don't meet those requirements, they feel disappointed. I just want you to understand that you're still great. You have a great life. It's just something to think about. Because a lot of people kick themselves in the behind when they screw up. You're not perfect. You're going to have screw ups. You're going to have setbacks. You just got to know how to troubleshoot your life and fix issues as they arrive. And you're going to be great. Peace.